Suits Clothiers and M Suits has men's clothing for every occasion, from business to leisure to weddings and
because I never knew.
And they've been chosen by Lincoln as best of men's clothing for 4 years running. The buying process is quick and easy with personal service that's part of the fun and their family owned, where you are also treated like part of the family. M Suits Clothiers, just south of 56th and Pine Lake on Red Rock Lane.
Our Remington Homes has really taken off.
He's like, it's a kid. I'm not bringing the
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders talking
I have
about
a friend
their
who's a
exciting new
mentor,
division,
a
Remington
teammate
Homes,
mentor,
which makes the home
and
building
this
process
mentee,
easier and more
all
affordable.
he wants to
The
do is play
exciting thing
basketball
about
every
Remington
time.
From predetermined floor plans, you can select your option. They give you a lot of choices. By selecting certain
luckily
floor
that works for
plans,
him.
they're just easier to build. And you couple that with our great lot selection.
When
in
we play
all
basketball,
different areas.
our
People do
balls
not
end up
want to be
hitting the
married to
ceiling.
their house. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an
There's a
affordable.
lot of energy.
And that's what Remington Homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Koppel Insurance Agency says accidents happen, but if you're texting and driving, you are an accident waiting to happen. Drive safely and stay alert so our children don't get hurt. This message has been brought to you by Koppel Insurance Agency. If you're looking for insurance, call 402-475-3213. They are honest and fair. For a solid insurance program, Koppel Insurance Agency wishing all a safe spring. Make it that way by driving carefully.
Like this.
Lincoln's best place to eat, and compete.
Sun Valley Lanes and Games is now offering spring sand volleyball leagues. Sand volleyball leagues are 9 weeks long beginning April 3rd. Registration is available online at sunvalleylanes.com. Use the promo code 93.7 to save 5%. That's sunvalleylanes.com, promo code 93.7. Volleyball not your thing? They also offer fun cornhole and bowling leagues. Visit sunvalleylanes.com for complete details.
Lincoln's best place to eat.
So how long have you been doing radio?
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL Weather, sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Your first solar water forecast tonight, increasing clouds, still mild, overnight low 42.
Yeah, most of
A
the
chance
sports,
of
BP or
showers in the
Newmore,
afternoon Thursday, cooler and windy. North winds gusting to 30, highs of 53. I'm Mentee Chief Forecaster Kent Houghton for 93.7 The Ticket and TheTicketFM.com.
We're awesome too. They're just more kind of
There's a lot that goes into buying a home. Security First Bank can help
just
lighten the
recently
load.
athletes
Whether
were
you're
able
looking for
to
more
default
space
to
or a new place,
profit
we make the
restaurants
process
and
easier with
people
friendly,
do
experienced mortgage
because,
lenders. And whether you're building new or remodeling the old, we have flexible financing too. Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member
I guess that's a
FDIC.
side
Equal
effect
housing
of that.
lender. NMLS number 505011.
Are you ready for $0 cost individual employee health insurance? How about company paid life insurance for you and your family? What about on-the-job paid training? Become part of the Landmark difference today. Join Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, at our upcoming career fairs. Chat one-on-one with our team to hear what it's really like to work with us. Career fairs will be held at Landmark locations. March 8th in Lexington, March 10th in Kearney, March 22nd in Beatrice, and March 24th in Hastings. See more details.
We're back here on the Teammates Mentoring Hour, which we do currently every Wednesday from 6 to 7. So it's very exciting. We give a different look into the experiences of many people, whether working with teammates or just being a teammate themselves and what they do with their mentees. We will talk here in a second with Bethany Brunsman, who works as an assessment and evolution evaluation. How do you say that word? Evaluation. I work for radio because I can't read, apparently. Evaluation. That was a tough one. Specialist for LPS. I think I got it earlier. For some reason, sometimes when you're in front of the mic, you just start to panic because that word wasn't coming together. Anyway, you began mentoring in 2019, and your mentee is now in middle school. So that's very cool. Again, I know you told us briefly that a lot of your coworkers were involved in TeamMates, and that's kind of what got you interested. I guess that kind of just makes sense. Working over at LPS, a lot of people thinking about some of the students there.
Right. Well, and in our department, assessment evaluation, we're in the district office, so we have a little more flexibility. It's not when you're a teacher in a classroom, obviously you can't leave in the middle of the day to be with a mentee, but in our office we are able to do that. And the district office is very supportive of staff becoming mentors for teammates, and so it works out really nicely.
Yeah, that is very cool. And again, you've been doing this since 2019. What has been your experience so far as a teammate? And have you worked with just one mentee at this time?
Right. So I started with my mentee when she was at Pershing, and she was a 4th grader, and she had a mentor earlier in the year, but her mentor had to move away. And so I joined in right around this time of year in March. And so I was able to pick up where the other mentor had left off, and she was very happy to have someone.
Yeah.
She still asks me at the end of every year if I'm coming back or not. And I keep telling her that as long as I live here, and she still wants me as a mentor, that I will stick with her until she graduates from high school. So
yeah, that's very cool stuff. What are some of the activities she likes to do?
Well, actually, we're pretty well matched because she really likes games and crafts. I was a Girl Scout co-leader before I was a teammate, and the girls in my troop were growing up, and they all graduated last year. So I have had some experience with organizing crafts.
Yeah.
And so she likes anything to do with sewing or coloring or gluing, painting, any of that. So we've done a lot of that kind of thing. We made some tie blankets for Project Linus. And she also loves the community service projects that the TeamMates organization puts together every month. So this year we've made little fleece hearts and heart mobiles, little cactus things for the senior home. And I think there were several others that I'm not thinking of what they are now, but she likes all of those. And we also have a couple of those adult coloring books that we use pencils with. The last time, though, I met with her last week, she said she wanted to play more games. So I need to raid the card games at home and see. We just started one called Blink last week, which the object is to be really fast. And so we've been timing it on our phones to see how quickly we can get done with the game, and we're down to like less than a minute, I think.
Oh, nice. So it's a teammate game where you work together to get it done quickly.
Well, no, it's competitive, but we still
you have your own side.
We've made it more of a team focus, I guess, by recording the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you guys feel free to jump in here on the conversation too, if anything strikes you. I did want to ask you, you had stated there, TeamMates has their own, what did you call it?
They're community service projects.
Okay.
So each month they work with different organizations, and it's typically kind of a craft like project. And so teammates can, and I always ask my mentee whether she wants to do it or not, but she always says yes. And so you can choose to participate or not, and you sign up, and the TeamMates organization sends the kit out to the school with all the supplies, minus like sometimes you have to provide scissors or glue, but there are directions so you know ahead of time what you need. And then you make it together and then send it back, and they deliver it to whatever organization. So the little fleece hearts, for example, were little stuffed fleece hearts that were heart-shaped, and they were for cancer patients to have during their chemo, I think, like as kind of a comfort object. or sometimes decorations for a nursing home or a senior living center. We've made a lot of different things. We made bracelets that were out of that really
paracord.
Yes, paracord.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for the troops to wear. And then they could like, it turns into a rope that you could then use to like get yourself out of a really dangerous, so that it's a variety of different projects.
Yeah.
We did friendship bracelets, I think, for a summer camp. The ones for this month are fans for Jazz in June, I think, where you decorate. It's like a paper plate and a popsicle stick, and you glue it together, and you make a decoration, and then they're going to probably hand them out to the people who are attending. So it's a great way for the mentees to learn about different service organizations and to feel like they can contribute to the community as well, because there's always a little explanation with it that tells about the organization that it's going to benefit. And so we kind of talk about that. And then the teammates send an email out to the mentors with a picture or two that shows all the completed projects that we can share with our mentees so that they can feel like they were part of something bigger.
Yeah, that's very cool. You know, doing even more for the greater good. That's very cool. You did mention too a couple of things in that it just kind of popped a question in my mind. As far as summer works, when the kids are out of school, is there any teammates type of things going on at that time, or is it just during the school year?
There is an option to meet with your mentee during the summer. My teammate, it has not worked out. The parents have to bring them to the school site, or sometimes in the past there were some Zoom sessions that were available. My mentee has never wanted to meet on Zoom. We've met in person all the way through the whole pandemic, with the exception of that one spring where school was closed. And so, but I'd be willing to meet in the summer. It just hasn't worked out. And usually it's more like once a month.
Right.
And so Meredith, do you want to add anything to that?
No, you did a great job.
Okay.
Yeah, very few of our matches meet over the summer, but some like to, even if it's just a one-time thing or maybe once a month. Not every school is able to accommodate visits, so sometimes if you typically mentor in an elementary school, you might be meeting at the nearby middle school or something like that. But again, totally optional.
Yeah, and I think part of it for my mentee is just she doesn't have a way to get to the school during the summer. And I imagine that's true for a lot of kids, because they're not during the school year, they're there already, so there's nothing that needs to happen to get them there. But if the parents are working and they don't have a way to get there, then it doesn't work out.
Well, and for yourself too, I think it's kind of cool because you were talking about it during the break a little bit. Do you get to meet up with some of the other teammates and that are maybe work within your building that have mentees too, and talk about your experiences, or is there a rule not to really talk about it too much?
We do talk. We are careful not to share personal details, but it's fine to talk about what kind of activities you're doing with your mentees, and we do provide some support for each other sometimes if we're not sure how to approach a particular situation. Having different people around you who have mentees it's nice to be able to talk through that sometimes. The teammates organization obviously is also there for that, but sometimes, it's just you want to share how you feel about something or that sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's good to have friends.
Yeah, always good to have people going through similar experiences, or kind of get some ideas based off them. So that's very cool. For your first time, did you already have any nerves going into it, or was it something you were pretty comfortable with, or having worked with children maybe in the past?
Well, I mean, I was a little nervous about meeting her because I thought, well, what if she doesn't like me, or what if it doesn't work out? And I remember the coordinator at the school pulled her out of her classroom into the hallway. So we're having our first meeting in the hallway. And I asked her some of the questions that the teammates organization suggested, like, what's your favorite color? And do you have any pets? But the teammates coordinator, as we're walking up, said, oh, she's having a really bad day. And I'm thinking, uh-oh.
Oh, no.
And we stood there and talked for a few minutes, and I could see it changing for her day, like just engaging with someone was enough to like make her feel like she was having a better day, and she left smiling. And yeah, and I think we do a good job of connecting, the two of us. Last week I had some of the same experience from my own perspective, because I was having a very bad day when I went to meet with her on Wednesday. It was really stressful. Things were not going well at work. Some things went wrong, and I knew I had to return back and continue to work on them. And so as I'm waiting for her, I'm sitting there processing through my problems. But I spent the hour with her, and by the time I was done, I just felt like, okay, I'm ready to go back and tackle my problems. So it's beneficial to the mentors as well as the mentees.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Kind of can give you a little bit of perspective, I guess, suppose, about your day and the problems that you have. She's Bethany Brunsmans, again, has been mentoring since 2019, and her mentee is now in middle school. Are you, obviously, as this is a year by year thing, and you said you would like to do it till the end of high school. Are you looking forward to some different challenges as the years go by? Maybe I guess the age range can provide some different personality even changes.
Yes, I suspect there will be some changes. I can already, it's already different now than it was when she was in elementary, because like I'm less cool than I was when we started, I think. And we've already started talking about college for her, and what she might want to do. And she has an older brother that she mentions sometimes too. So sometimes I ask, what's he want to do and how that impacts her and some of that. But yes, I think there will be some changes when she's a teenager, but I have 2 children of my own who are in college. So I think I know where we're headed.
I've been through it before. Very cool. And was there, I wanted to ask you this. I know, like you said, maybe working with LPS, not directly with kids every day, but was there, something growing up, or just something, that kind of brought you toward working with kids, and the excitement that you have, joining a TeamMates mentoring program?
Well, I think I was involved with activities with my own children as they were growing up. And being a Girl Scout co-leader, I knew that I liked working with youth. And like you said earlier, Meredith, people had asked me about being a teammate several times. And I just said, well, my kids are young and I have my own Girl Scout troop. I think that's enough. But as they got older and they weren't needing me so much because they were leading their own activities, it became more possible. And it seemed like a fun thing to just have a connection over the years with one person. And I really have enjoyed it.
Yeah, very cool stuff. Again, she's Bethany Brunsman, who's been TeamMates mentor since 2019. Here in a few seconds, we'll talk to Andy Palmquist, who's been a mentor since 2018. I wanted to run over these stats, though, and maybe, Meredith, you can kind of help me. You put them together, but I don't want to misrepresent anything. I'll read off these stats here. 131 seniors this year in high school. That was the most ever. That is it. That are currently mentees. Is that right?
Yep, sorry.
So
Biggest senior class.
Yeah, that's very cool. All seniors who apply and qualify receive a scholarship, and the Lincoln chapter funded through business partners and personal donors a lot in memoriam. What does it mean to qualify? How do you qualify to be a mentee?
Sure. So for some of the scholarships that are through the central office TeamMates, they do require that the mentees have participated in the program for 3 or more years, but that's not maybe as strict with the Lincoln specific ones. And so just basically anyone who ends up enrolling in post-secondary kind of qualifies them. So they can apply, but then maybe things change over the summer and they aren't able to go. But for those who do enroll and let us know to send the money, we do that. So it's pretty awesome to be able to pretty much guarantee that for the group of students who apply.
Yeah, that is very cool. And for people that maybe some of the kids, or maybe even the high school students that are out there thinking, I mean, how would they get involved if they would like to maybe be on the wait list and get involved with TeamMates themselves, if they feel like, hey, I think I could use a mentor?
Sure. Yeah, we do get some students who self-nominate. It's typically if they were to go to an admin or maybe the counseling office and talk to someone there, and they can kind of get the ball rolling for them.
Okay. How are they usually nominated otherwise?
Most often it's a school staff member. So
Okay.
a teacher or counselor, admin, that's the majority. They can also be nominated by a parent. And again, some self-nominate.
Yeah, very interesting. And going through again more of these stats, as they're very cool. 5-year averages here include on-time graduation rates for TeamMates seniors that are higher than local and state averages. In 2020, the LPS Lincoln Public Schools graduation rate was 80.9%. In 2021 was 88.4, but TeamMates has 89 to 91 in 2020. So nice improvement there. Improved academic performance for more than 60% of TeamMates youth, improved behavioral outcomes for more than 80% of TeamMates youth, and fewer absences for more than 40% of TeamMates youth. So that's very cool. Also, last year, of the 84 TeamMates seniors, 64 or 76% of them had post-secondary plans, 52 of which is 82%, included post-secondary education. So kind of maybe can help guide them in the right direction. TeamMates youth served annually to determine their satisfaction with their mentoring experience, or surveyed, I should say. Findings reported by over 250 TeamMates youth include 97% report of higher level of care from their mentor, a high level of care, I should say. 95% report a high level of trust in their mentor. 87% report very good knowledge of their strengths and talents. 87% also report strong pride and engagement in their mentoring relationship. 74% report increased sense of hope about their future, and 70% report increased engagement in school and or community activities. So all those stats are very cool, and just sounds like the goal, right? Is bettering the experience for these young people, and certainly, especially when you get into the talking of confidence and certainly plans for the future. I know for a lot of kids they can get kind of lost, especially coming out of graduating high school.
Sure. And it's cool that these aren't necessarily outcomes that we're trying to hit or that we think the mentor is going to make happen. It's kind of just the residual positive impacts that we see just from having that extra support in their life. So we aren't necessarily outcome based. It's the relationship based that allows them to learn more about their individual strengths and make these good things happen for themselves.
Yeah, you don't have to necessarily aim for these things,
Right.
but they're very cool percentages and stuff to bring out anyways, because you can see a lot of good being done. We're going to take a quick break here on the TeamMates Mentoring Hour. When we come back, Andrew Palmquist, who's been a teammate since 2018, we'll get a little bit into his story so far as he mentors, and we'll be back right here on the TeamMates Mentoring Hour on 93.7 The Ticket.
Don't go anywhere. More of the TeamMates Mentoring Hour is minutes away on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. And things have obviously been pretty challenging lately with new vehicles, with all the microchip and supply chain issues. But things continue to loosen up as Koppel gets more and more new vehicles in each and every week. We've had many customers also custom order their vehicles. So if you don't see what you want in our current inventory, we can put an order in to get exactly what you want. So go online, reserve your new vehicle at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $22.07 per hour and other select jobs starting at $23.77 per hour, with wages growing up to $29.71 per hour. Continental also has salaried jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
You hear that? That's the sound of extremely tender and delicious beef from certified Piedmontese. Prime grade tenderness with a fraction of the fat and calories of normal beef. It's Nebraska-raised product and the official beef of Nebraska Athletics. Change the way you buy beef today at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, just north of 84th and Havelock, or at cpmercado.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Teamwork Construction reminds us when Vietnam veterans arrived back to the United States, there were no welcome home celebrations. On March 29th, National Vietnam War Veterans Day, we want all Vietnam veterans to know they're honored for their service. Your patriotism is the reason veterans today are treated with admiration. Thank you. This from Teamwork Construction. Help make your dreams a reality.
Another packed spring sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. Stop by for the great deals on March's Beers of the Month for Guinness, Cosmic Eye, and Firestone Walker. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
There's a lot that goes into buying a home. Security First Bank can help lighten the load. Whether you're looking for more space or a new place, we make the process easier with friendly, experienced mortgage lenders. And whether you're building new or remodeling the old, we have flexible financing too. Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. Drive-bys is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Smoothbrook, Illinois.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
This is the TeamMates Mentoring Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the TeamMates Mentoring Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jake Bakoven, and we're running through the experiences of some of the people involved in TeamMates. And we're about to jump into Andy Palmquist's experience, as he has been a mentor since 2018. Real quick, I did have a text question off the text line, which is maybe better suited for Meredith. How do you donate to TeamMates, and where does that donation go toward? Is there a possibility of donating to TeamMates?
Oh, a little far. Absolutely. LincolnTeammates.org has the link to our kind of profile where you can donate to Lincoln specifically. There's a lot of random costs with mentoring, actually. One of our hugest, is that a word? One of our biggest expenses or most common is background checks. So every new mentor goes through screening, obviously working with youth. That's a huge part. So they do a background check, and then every 3 years, current mentors get background checks. And so that's one of our most common kind of routes where the donations go to, but all sorts of things, all the materials for the different activities we provide, and training materials, and lots of things.
Very cool. And we're glad to have you guys text in if you have any more questions or comments there. 402-464-5685 on the Sutter Hammond text line, and let us know. Let's get into it with Andy Palmquist now, the business development manager for Aqua Systems. He's been a teammate since 2018, and his current mentee is in middle school. It's kind of cool listening to your story. I've heard a little bit about it between the breaks. Your father was actually in TeamMates mentoring as well.
Yeah. When I was in high school, he was in it, and then into college, he was still in it, and then when they moved to Council Bluffs, he continued with it there as
Oh
well.
yeah, very cool. And was that something you were kind of aware of growing up, or how? I mean, because they were still at school visits, so you probably didn't see the Mentees too often.
Yes and no. So it was one of those things. It was kind of the unknown for me because I really didn't know what TeamMates was. And in college, I was too busy in college and high
Sure.
school with high school friends. But I kind of, Dad would kind of talk about it a little bit. He didn't get into much detail, but I would hear a lot of positive stories about the kids and how they're growing into teammates and kind of wanting to be around him. And I think I was telling at break that one time he had 2 teammates at once because one moved and then came back and requested specifically for my dad. So it was cool to see that. And
Yeah.
I love my dad, but to see him on that kind of a pedestal, I guess.
Yeah.
It intrigued me. So that's about as far as I knew about teammates until I actually started it a few years ago.
Yeah, and especially with that maybe teenage mentality, you can think somebody thinks my dad's cool. What the heck?
Yeah.
You know?
And he is cool. So if he's listening to this, you're cool, Dad.
yeah, as you know that now. But what kind of got you into teammates? How did you get outside of that? Like you said, maybe you weren't completely aware of it. How about over the last couple of years that you got into teammates?
Yeah, so when I started working for Aqua Systems 4 years ago, I was thinking, what can I do that's not like a job? What can I do for the community? And Teammates was the first thing that I thought of. So I went and I visited Emily over at the Teammates office, and she kind of gave me the lowdown on what Teammates is, what it's for, and the rest is history. I jumped into it. I didn't know what to expect. I was nervous the first day that I met my teammate because I've had 2 teammates. So my first teammate, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know who he was or anything, and we grew pretty close for those 2 years that I was with him.
Yeah, very cool. And what kind of activities does your teammate enjoy doing when you go and visit?
Yeah, so my current teammate, he's a gamer, so he loves video games. So when we come in, he's telling me about video games he's playing. He bought the Oculus, so he's doing a lot of VR stuff, and he watches a lot of YouTube. So we have a rec room at the school we're at. So we do a lot of ping pong. He loves chess. And then we'll go, it's hooked into the YMCA. So we'll go into the gym and shoot hoops, or he throws balls everywhere. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
That does sound like a lot of fun. Is he getting the better of you at chess? It's been a while since I've played.
Yes.
Yes.
He's awesome at chess.
Yeah.
I never played chess. He knows the rules. I don't know the rules, but but he's really good at it. I've beat him maybe 2 times. And I actually try, so it's not one of those things that I'm letting him win. He's really good at it. He's smart.
Yeah, that's very cool. And what happened with your first teammate, I suppose?
So during COVID, I don't know really what happened, but he might be at a different school. I don't know.
Okay, and so did you try to request basically a certain school or certain place that would work better for you to get to?
Not necessarily. So they reached out to me and kind of let me know that I can either stop or I can keep going. And I told them I wanted to keep going. They gave me the option of they always give you an option to pick schools or times and stuff. But my schedule is pretty open. I think I'm out 2 hours a week at random times, and that's my schedule. So I just told them to pick, and they filled me in, and then I just kind of went that direction.
Yeah, very cool. And I guess a similar question as I had for Bethany over here. Are you anticipating some different challenges as your mentee ages?
Oh, I know. Yeah, because my son's 2 years younger, so I kind of compare from my last teammate to this one. And just knowing how I was in high school, I know there's going to be a lot of challenges, but we've talked about it, and he's excited for me to come visit him in high school. And so it's one of those things where I think even for them, they don't know what they're getting into necessarily, but we gain such a relationship. We want to be around each other for that hour a week or whatever we have. And so it's nice to know that someone else is excited for your time and vice versa.
Yeah, and you mentioned your son too. Is he kind of like, I guess, the position you were in, where now your dad was in teammates, now you're in him? Is he inquisitive about it at all?
We've talked about it because he's asked I've told him what it is, so he knows what it is. But I think it interests him, and the look in his eyes when we talk about it, it's always positive, I guess. And I mean, I guess he's all for it, but it's not the topic we always talk about, but he does know about it.
Yeah, very cool. And was there something in particular, like you said, just kind of looking for something in the community? Was there something that brought you in toward, bettering somebody's childhood rather than, there's plenty of options around the community that, can kind of tech different things. Was there something about, helping children out more than that kind of brought you to it?
Mainly my dad. I'm gonna bring it back to my dad.
Yeah.
So I hearing stories with him and knowing how those kids have grown so much, just knowing him and what he's done for teammates. That's the main thing. I mean, there's other things in the community that we do, but the feeling you get out of teammates it's awesome. I mean, that you can't explain. I mean, I've watched my teammates grow. So, I mean, they've matured so much, and they feel comfortable telling you things that they might not tell someone else. And it's always in the positive direction. And I get feedback from the school and the teachers, and they say the same thing. So-and-so's grown so much since you've started coming. And I don't take full responsibility. I think that's just how the teammates program is made. And they know that, and that's why it's important. If you have time to at least check it out.
Yeah, it's very cool stuff. And like we've been saying, there are plenty of teammates or mentees out there on a waiting list waiting for another teammate to come around. So if you're out there and you're kind of interested, once again, Meredith, can you give one more shout out on how to get involved?
Absolutely. LincolnTeammates.org, or you can call our office 402-436-1990.
Very cool. Very cool. Everybody, hopefully we've inspired some people to get involved, or at least people are more knowledgeable out there on Teammates Mentoring Hour and what they're doing. Once again, we'd like to thank our guest, Meredith Kane, the community outreach specialist over there at Teammates, Bethany Brunsman, who has been a mentor now since 2019, and Annie Palmquist, a mentor since 2018. Thank you guys for coming in and sharing your stories and hopefully spreading the love out there in Lincoln so we can bring it back into Teammates and make the community a little bit better.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. We're going to take a quick break here, and then around the corner, Riffin' with Raph will be here. And I know they've always got some pretty good guests. So Riffin' with Raph with Chris and AD will be next here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Fruitcakes are just for Christmas, right? Gosh, I feel sorry for you. I mean, what if we had done that with bacon? Bacon is only for breakfast. We'd never have bacon cheeseburgers. We'd never be able to save a salad by adding bacon bits. We'd never have Brinner. That's breakfast for dinner. Don't limit yourself. Fruitcakes for St. Patrick's Day. Fruitcakes for graduation. Fruitcakes for Thursday. Beatrice Bakery and Grandma's Fruitcakes are perfect for every occasion. Check them out in downtown Beatrice or online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $22.07 per hour, and other select jobs starting at $23.77 per hour, with wages growing up to $29.71 per hour. Continental